Hello. My name is Tim and I have ALS, America's best kept secret disease. Once winter kicked in, lots of physical abilities left at once. Communication reached another transition. This time, I flat out couldn't speak at all. Those few that could lip read lost the ability to.
As his jaw muscles and his lip muscles have decreased in strength, he's not able to enunciate words or anything, so he'll try to mouth things, and I try to understand him, but most of the time I can't.
But it started getting frustrating. Conversations flew by as I tried to type. People turned me into a guessing game, trying to figure out what was next. Facial expressions were made in my head, but misinterpreted on the outside. I was finally getting knocked down in a way that was hard to get back up.
It's like going through a minefield every time something else leaves, some other capacity of his is gone, because he has to relearn how to live every time he loses something. So of course that affects him mentally, and of course there's a period of mourning. There's a loss. You've lost a part of yourself, and you have to learn how to rebuild yourself again.
Physically, he's gotten to a place where it doesn't look like he's declining as rapidly as it used to look, but that's because there's just really not much there left to lose. So each of the losses that he has they're growing smaller and smaller, but it's still, proportional to what he has left.
I think he's the strongest, toughest person I've ever met, but I know that every single day, at least for a part of that day, he is thinking about dying. That's what's happening. I can't even begin to think about what that feels like.
It was then I started wishing I had never been tricked. I had said it before, in the hospital and such, but never meant it. This time was different. It sounded serious, but not like me. I said it during therapy and cried for ages. Was this me? Instead of going away, it got worse. I started having suicidal thoughts. Never in my life. But there it was, and it wasn't going away.
There's no way around how much it sucks. And it sucks even more when you just have to sit there with your hands tied and watch this ship sink.
I was thinking of ways I could disconnect the vent without detection. All unrealistic and impossible. It took a lot of time to realize that it wasn't my voice saying things. It occurred to me that it wasn't how I really felt. My antidepressants were really screwing with me, and I told Lorin about it.
Tim opened up his eyes and looked at me and he says, "I'm depressed." And he had slept a lot for the past few days, and so I knew that he was. And next he looked at me and said, "And I've got a plan for how I'd commit suicide." And I just stepped back and scratched my chin. I couldn't imagine how somebody who can only move a few of his facial muscles could possibly have a plan for how he was going to do this, but if there's one thing I've learned about Tim, it's not to underestimate him.
Tim takes methadone for pain. He takes morphine for pain. He takes Xanax for anxiety. He takes Buspar for anxiety. He takes Ritalin for energy. He takes Celexa for depression. He takes, literally 19, 20 drugs on his list of options of drugs that he can take for all of his various symptoms.
I'm very lucky that we talk very openly with each other, and we both know how we feel on a regular basis about this, because it's literally a clusterfucked, unsafe roller coaster of feelings, and you have no idea what's gonna happen. You're staring into nothing and just trying to fight your way through it.
To me, it's a compliment to his courage. I mean, just to be able to admit that to me so that I could help him fix it. We got a call into the doctor, got his medications changed a little bit, and we're so glad that we fixed that.
You're gonna feel things that you never want to feel. But if you have somebody there that's willing to talk to you about them, it makes it okay. It makes you stronger. It makes you be able to handle the one thing that we're just not supposed to handle in a lifetime, especially at this age, and especially with the life and talent that Tim has had and led. It's the most unfair thing in the world.
I can't imagine how having that much energy and that much knowledge and that much experience and being limited only to blinking your eyes and seeing what's on a computer screen. So I can't imagine what he's going through.
I think that I want so badly to fix it or make it better, and there's nothing I can do. So I find that the only thing that I can offer him besides physical care is emotional comfort. And that is that I try to be whatever it is that he needs.
A lot of the times I feel powerless. You just have to sometimes just shut your eyes and hope to God you've figured it out and that it's going to be okay and that you can be there and support them and help them. And sometimes you just haphazardly have a complete success and you're able to lift that person out of the mud. But you never really know. So you just hope that the fact that you love them is enough and that you can figure out the rest as you go.
But that antidepressants can make you suicidal, isn't it? Not to say that this disease is easy to navigate for any of us. You just have to keep your network intact. Your loved ones, your therapists, your medication. It's a balancing act that is hard to keep up. Right now, I think I am doing okay.
It's an incredible thing to me that he can move his eyes around enough to type, that he can maintain conversations, that he can, accomplish things, and that the Tim I know is still very, very, very much intact in that body.
I'm still proud of Tim. He's still kicking it, and like I said, I think I mentioned earlier, that Tim still has a message he needs to deliver. He's not done with it yet, and that's cool. I'll help him.
I mean, I've said it before, I still feel like the luckiest person in the world because I'm able to know all of these amazing things about the world because of this, because of the shittiest situation I've ever been in. I've become the happiest I've ever been.
Well, I'll die trying, I'll never give up. Even when the odds are down, when no one gives a fuck. And even when pigs are flying, hell is frozen up. Well, I'll die trying, I'll never give up. And I know it's hard to love someone whose head is in the stars. But don't give up, hold on soon. Until I've kept my promise and have given you the moon, I will die trying, I'll never give up. Even when the odds are down, when no one gives gives a fuck. Not even when pigs are flying, hell is frozen up. Well, I'll die trying.